All right, let's dive into this one, huh? The Jets taking on the Texans. Big win for the Jets, and we're breaking it all down with this Associated Press article.
Yeah, this was a game with a lot of buzz, a lot to unpack here.
Especially, I gotta say, that touchdown catch, right?
Oh, yeah.
The one that everyone's comparing to Odell Beckham Jr.'s.
It was pretty spectacular. I mean, talk about a game changer.
So this was Garrett Wilson, for those who maybe didn't see it. What made this catch so special? Like, paint us a picture here.
So picture this. 3rd and 19. The Jets are trailing 10-7.
Okay, not a great situation.
Not ideal, right. Rodgers throws a 26-yard pass, and Wilson just, leaps for it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, legs spread out, almost like a Michael Jordan kind of Jumpman pose, reaches out with his right hand and just, plucks the ball out of the air. It was insane.
It looked like it was incomplete, though, at first, right?
Yeah, the initial call was incomplete, but Coach Ulbrich, he challenged the play and the replay. Oh, man, the replay showed Wilson got his shin down just in time.
Talk about a clutch moment.
Absolutely. I mean, the article even quotes Ulbrich saying it needs to go down in history. And, they're comparing Wilson to Odell Beckham Jr. now.
Mm-hmm.
Wilson himself, he's quoted saying he feels blessed to even be mentioned in the same breath.
Which, that's got to feel pretty good as a young player.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a huge compliment.
But beyond, the highlight reel, right? Beyond the points on the scoreboard, what does a play like that do for a team?
Well, you got to think about the energy. You're trailing, the odds are stacked against you, and then, bam, out of nowhere, your teammate pulls off something incredible. It just injects this energy, this belief into the entire team. And for the opponent, it's deflating.
Makes you question if you can even stop them, right?
Exactly.
Speaking of deflating moments, though, let's talk about rookie Malachi Corley. He had a touchdown run, would have been his first in the NFL, and then...
Oh, yeah, the celebration.
Celebrated a little too early, fumbled the ball right before crossing the goal line.
Yeah, that's a tough lesson. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to get caught up. But it shows how crucial focus is, even in moments of triumph. Every play matters.
I loved Coach Ulbrich's reaction to it. He's quoted in the article saying, first of all, you can't do that. Second of all, you owe us one.
Yeah, a little humor, a little firmness. Perfect coaching moment right there.
All right, let's shift gears a bit. Davante Adams. Huge acquisition for the Jets, right? And he had that injury scare early on.
Yeah, bit of a head injury. Thankfully, he was clear to return, and man, did he make an impact.
37-yard touchdown catch, his first as a Jet.
And you could tell it meant a lot to him.
So what's it like, from your perspective, when a team brings in a player like Adams, a superstar? What does that do to the team dynamic?
It raises the stakes for sure. You bring in a guy like Adams, expectations go through the roof, the pressure's on to win. But it also brings this excitement, this sense of possibility.
Like anything's possible now.
Exactly.
Which for a team that's been struggling, that can be huge.
Oh, absolutely. It can be a turning point.
It's wild, right? How one player can just, change the whole feel of a team. We talked about Adams, Wilson, but the Texans had their moments too, right? And their challenges.
Oh, for sure.
This article, it talks about their kicker, Kaimi Fairbairn. He had a rough one. 2 missed field goals in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's not like him at all. He's usually pretty reliable.
And in a close game, every point matters.
Absolutely. Think about it. Your team's driving down the field, the score's tight, you get into field goal range, everyone's holding their breath, expecting you to put points on the board.
Yeah.
That pressure is immense.
Especially in a game like this, every point mattered.
Huge.
And one of those misses, the article mentions, it was a 43-yarder. Actually would have been good, but there was a penalty. Gave the Texans another shot.
Talk about a second chance.
Which they then fumbled. Literally. Fairbairn missed a 27-yarder. Just brutal.
It's got to be so frustrating. For the team, for the kicker himself,
Yeah.
not only do you miss out on points, but it shifts the momentum back to the other side. Big time. Football, it's as much mental as it is physical, right? Moments like that, they can mess with the team's confidence.
Speaking of momentum shifts, injuries are a huge part of that too. The Texans, they lost their left guard, Kenyon Green. Shoulder injury happened at halftime.
Tough break.
Now, for those who aren't super familiar with the nitty-gritty of football, losing a left guard, why is that such a big deal?
Well, it's all about protecting the quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
The offensive line, that's their job. And the left guard, he's a crucial part of that. They're like shield, keeping the defense away from the quarterback.
Makes sense.
You lose a starting lineman, it throws everything off, the whole game plan has to adjust, and it puts way more pressure on the quarterback. Less time to throw the ball, got to make decisions faster.
So Green's injury, it's likely that contributed to the Texans' struggles in the second half.
Oh, I'd say so. Hard to say for sure, But anytime you lose a key player on the offensive line, it's going to have an impact.
The Jets had their own injury issues too, right?
They did. Offensive linemen, John Simpson, Jake Hansen, both got banged up. And Michael Carter II, the cornerback, he left the game with a back injury.
Right. So both teams dealing with those setbacks shows you, things can change in a flash. Gotta be able to adapt.
Next man up mentality.
Yeah.
Coaches preach that all the time.
Someone goes down, next guy's got to be ready.
Exactly. It's a test of depth, resilience.
The Texans, they came into this game 6-2. They were favored to win. Losing to the Jets, who were 2-6, that's got to sting.
Yeah, especially the way it happened.
The article quotes Titus Howard, the Texans' right tackle. He said, "The most frustrating part is that we were the better team. We let that game get away from us, especially in the second half."
So they're recognizing those missed opportunities, right? Those key moments.
Always that what-if feeling after a close loss. You go back, you analyze, you see those moments where things could have gone differently, missed field goals, penalties, dropped passes. They all add up.
And the Texans, they got 2 more primetime games coming up.
Yeah, the pressure's on. Everyone's watching to see how they bounce back.
Primetime games, man. That's a different beast. The whole country's watching. The stakes are high.
So we talked a lot about the Jets, but what about the Texans? Coming off this loss, what are the key takeaways for them?
I think consistency, that's the big one. On paper, they were the better team, but they got to play a complete game, minimize mistakes, take advantage of opportunities, and stay focused all 4 quarters, especially with their schedule coming up.
Right. Now, what about Aaron Rodgers? He had a rough first half, but then second half, he came alive.
Yeah, he did. That's vintage Rodgers, though, right?
Like he's finally starting to click with this Jets team.
The guy's a seasoned vet. He knows how to shake off a slow start and rally the troops. And the Jets, they needed that spark.
This game just shows you, you never know what's going to happen in the NFL. Jets pulling off the upset, it all came down to a few plays, and that's what makes it so exciting.
Oh, absolutely. Every week there's upsets, surprises, moments of brilliance. That's why we love this game.
It's amazing, right? We talk about all these big plays, momentum swings, injuries, but at the end of the day, it's about the players themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
This article, it mentions how Aaron Rodgers, first half, worst performance of his career, passing yards-wise.
Wow.
You don't see that every day, from a guy like him.
It's a good reminder, though. Even the best, they have off days. What matters is how you bounce back.
And he did, right. 3 touchdown passes, including that beauty to Wilson.
And the game winner to Adams.
Crazy. But think about it. New team, high expectations, starts off slow.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure.
Easy to get rattled in that situation. But Rodgers, he didn't. He just, stayed calm, made adjustments, and led him to victory.
Experience, man. Leadership.
You didn't let a bad half define him.
Turned it into fuel. So, okay, big question now. What does this win mean for the Jets moving forward? Can they actually build on this, turn their season around?
Well, it's definitely a step in the right direction. Got to start somewhere. This win could be huge for their confidence. They showed resilience, fought through adversity.
Or found a way.
Exactly.
But they still got a long way to go, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Still at the bottom of their division. Schedule's tough.
They got to prove they can hang with the big dogs week in, week out.
Consistency is key.
But this win, it gives them something to believe in.
That belief, it can be powerful. You get that momentum going.
Oh, no.
It could be a turning point.
All right. Well, we've covered a lot here. Individual brilliance, mental toughness, the craziness of the NFL. It's been fun breaking this all down.
Yeah, this AP article, it had some great insights.
Always a wild ride, these deep dives.
That's why we do it.
And we always like to leave our listeners with something to chew on, right? So think about this. Can one moment, one game, actually change a whole season? Or is it just a small piece of a much bigger story?
I like that. Leave them wanting more.
That's the goal. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the Jets win.
Always a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.